Much like I've done with a walk cycle and a bouncing ball, today I'm going to animate a simple jump. Starting with a time limit of 10 seconds, followed by 1 minute, then 10 minutes, then an hour, and finally 10 hours. So let's get started. 10-second jump is going to be much harder than the ball bounce and the walk cycle, I think. I mean, it's essentially going to be a ball bounce, but with the entire body attached. Yeah, it's going to be very scribbly. And go. Start off in a crouch, doesn't matter what it looks like. Do some of that. He's in the apex. He's coming back down. Oh my god. Okay, let's see if this is acceptable. It won't be. Let's see if it looks like anything. Alright, doesn't have body parts for most of that. Oh my god. You know what though? I think it works in the sense that if I told someone I was trying to animate a jump, they would believe me. So that's cool. Ended up being 5 frames, so 2 seconds per drawing, not too bad. Alright, I'm going to move on to the 1 minute animation, and it's pretty much going to be the same thing, just a jump on the spot, but try to actually draw each limb, get the timing kind of acceptable. Let's see what happens, and go. It's actually going to start standing up, I think. I'm still going to be drawing it very scuffed, but this is a good crouch. Then he's going to come straight back up, and he's going to be all the way up here. Arms are coming way down. Apex of the jump. His head is freaking huge now. Now he's coming back down. His arms are doing that. Crouching again. And then he comes back into the squat, the starting position. Okay. Oh my god, I'm not confident on that one. It should look better than 10 seconds, but let's test that theory. Okay, that's interesting. The freeze frame should really be the standing frame, but okay. Yeah, I think that's not too shabby for 1 minute. That is more or less what I was trying to do. The arms and legs are kind of doing what they should. Well, gonna try 10 minutes now and see if I can do something a little cleaner, a little more jump-like, one might say. I think I'll do a thick body, stick legs, stick arms. Pretty much the same jump on the spot, but more good. Okay, 10 minutes starting now. All right, gonna draw a head right here in the middle of the screen. Do a little big body. Kind of a neutral standing pose right here. I'm gonna draw the squatting position. Try to keep the head the same size, but not lose any sleep over it. It might be a bit of an extreme squat, but okay. Do it like that. I'll have his arms coming up. All right, so as he goes up, his arms are coming down, which I believe makes sense. Maybe a little squashed out horizontally. Arms kind of doing this. Legs can be folded in. He's really reaching that max height. A little bit of a hang time thing. I don't know if these body parts are maintaining volume, but hopefully they are. I think I'll do an asymmetrical leg. That'll be cool. No time for feet though. All right, so next frame, he's fully stretched out and hitting the ground. I feel like his leg got shorter. I'll have to move it up a bit. Crouching position, bracing the impact. His belly's expanding. His arms are going crazy. Didn't draw arms on this frame. I do always forget to do that. These legs are getting very squished. Looks like a spider right now. Squishing again, just a little more. Now he's gonna start to come up a little bit. All right, I got 3 minutes left. I'm really just gonna try and return to the standing position. I'm gonna put that over here and do some in-betweens. Coming back up. Okay, I've got something workable. The torso's a bit messed up. You know what? The jump is fine, I'm gonna add a face, if I can do it in time. This is like deja vu for the walk cycle. And the face might ruin it, so do a little change of expression at the top, and then return to normal. Okay, 10 seconds. Done. The face changed. The last and first frame is just the same thing, but with a completely different face. Let's have a look-see-loo at the final thing. Okay, that's kind of cool. The timing on the arms on the way down is not the best. Pretty good. Well, you know, as expected for a 10-minute animation. It's kind of fun. Looks like he's having a good time. So yep, that could have gone worse. Let's move on to the 1 hour jump and see what I can come up with. For this one, I wanted my character to jump over a gap, between two cliffs I guess. So I roughed in the ground and started sketching the head and torso animation. I figured it would be easier to animate one section at a time. So once I was satisfied with that, I did the same thing with the legs. And I'm making things different colours to make them easier to see when I'm sketching. Then it's time for the arms. The main idea is to swing them back on the crouch and lunge forward on takeoff. Then they come back down at the top of the jump, and come back up as you fall. On landing, they come back down again. There's a lot of back and forth basically. I did look at some references, but I'm not claiming it's totally accurate. So with 25 minutes left, I started to draw the real thing. I was considering an actual human, but I realized I wouldn't be able to do that in time, so I drew this marshmallow blob instead. It seemed easiest to do everything but the arms first, and then do the arms, but looking back, I don't think that's necessarily true. It gives you the option to adjust things at least. Colouring was pretty simple, with just a pale blue and then a darker blue for the back limbs. In the last 5 minutes I cobbled together a background and the animation was complete. So here it is. All things considered, I'm pretty happy with this. It's simple, but frame-by-frame animation is very, very time-consuming. Yeah, I can't say I'm too disappointed with the motion itself. The ending's a bit abrupt, and unfortunately it doesn't loop. But we can live with that. I know the background's quite scuffed, especially the left cliff there, but I actually quite like that style. Yeah, solid jump animation. The 10-hour jump is pretty much the same premise as the 1 hour, but fancier. I drew placeholders for all the body parts and used a motion tween along a curve for the head and body, kinda like with a bouncing ball. The problem with this is that I needed the jump to slow down and speed up vertically, but only slow down horizontally. So I made a horizontal animation, then animated that animation vertically. I did that for the head and the body, and adjusted it until it looked right. Then I drew in the legs frame by frame. I also had to rotate the head and torso, which was more complicated than I anticipated because of the nested animations, but I got there in the end. It was initially a standing 2-footed jump, but then I thought the jump looked too insane, so I thought of doing a run-up, but I didn't want to do a run-up because I'm thinking of doing a 10-hour run cycle video. Gotta save it for that. So I had him do a small leap to the edge and then take off. I don't think the momentum from that is very realistic, and if I did it again I'd make it a 1-foot takeoff, but it doesn't look too bad. On the landing I also added a bounce so he doesn't just stop suddenly. It's still a bit abrupt, but let's just say he has good control. The arms are the same process as the legs, similar motion to the 1 hour jump. I also have 3 copies of the platform he's standing on, which I can move to create an infinite loop, sort of simulating a camera. Now, after 3.5 hours of tinkering, I'm finally starting the full body sketch. And I went with the most epic design possible, a basic white man with a big head. It does need to be simple though, since I'm drawing it in 50 different positions. I was doing this on Leap Day, by the way. Just thought that was a funny coincidence. I also added some facial animation and head rotation to liven it up, and then I added a quick breath after he lands. I also made his hair move up and down. Finally, with 4.5 hours to go, I started the line art. Also tested out some colours at the start. So the lines took over an hour, but colouring the rest of it was pretty fast. Now I'm adding some background elements that'll move slower than the foreground and midground. It was kinda complicated to get everything to loop with the different speeds, but it was doable. But now it's time to draw the actual background elements in Photoshop. A lot of what I drew ended up off screen, so I need to pay more attention to that because I definitely wasted a lot of time. But now it's really coming together. So I'm just placing more objects and trying to get the speed and timing of each layer right. Then it's back to Photoshop to draw more of the background and some trees. So the rest of the time was spent doing that and then experimenting with a couple things that didn't really work out, before adding final touches in Premiere Pro. So here it is. I like this, it's pretty good. It is again kinda simple for 10 hours, but as we know, animation takes a long time. Although I think I could do this about twice as fast now that I know what I'm doing. A lot of time here was spent trying to figure things out, but that's just how it goes. It's a lot less busy than the ball bounce I did, which is maybe a good thing. You can really focus on just the jump. It's a much longer loop, almost 30 seconds, 4 jumps before you get back to the start. I do think the timing on the jump could be a bit better. Also, it would have been nice to shade the character. I knew I wouldn't have time to do that, or I would do it badly. It still looks nice without shading. I like that it kind of has a video game vibe, it's like a platformer. I guess the cliffs he's standing on are kind of Minecraft-ish. I didn't set out to do that, but I'm sure there are many Minecraft enthusiasts among you. So yeah, that's my 10-hour jump animation. Let me know if you love it, let me know if you despise it. Well, there you have it. An animation of a jump in 10 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, and 10 hours. That was fun. I actually learned a thing or two. I hope you enjoyed watching all of that. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.